Greetings, mortals! Brimthen Barlow here, and today we're going to be doing our third podcast called Brimthen Babbles. I just want to take a moment here to explain what we're doing. So this is just like a podcast interview. I've got with us today CastOrDie. He's working on my sticker stuff. Say hey to him.
Hello!
And the general gist of what we're doing is after I get through these special guests that's helped me build this channel, like my music guy, my artists, and the stickers that CastOrDie is doing for me, we're going to open it up to followers. So if you want to get on here and talk about hobbies, maybe animes, movies, whatever you want to, go join our Discord and request to be on Babbles. There's a channel dedicated to it. But for right now, let's get started with this podcast. And so how you doing today, CastOrDie?
I'm doing really well. I appreciate you having me on. I feel very honored to be number 3 in your line of podcasts.
Yeah, it's been an exciting little weekend here for me. A lot of firsts and a lot of things has changed, both with the podcast and just community growth.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Congratulations on your big numbers last time. Let's keep that train rolling.
I know, right? So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do on Twitch and some of the stuff you're wanting to do with the sticker shop and stuff?
Absolutely. So, I haven't found a more appropriate term, but in general, I kind of follow close to, I guess, a stream coach. You can kind of put me in that ballpark, but my bigger focus is actually working one-on-one with streamers, just over general things like content, social media, so on and so forth. And the sticker business is just another one of those tools that I've developed so that streamers can use that as well in order to create merch for their channel or even some specialty content with their chat. And so I bring it to life and we offer it up to the viewers.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about it because it'll be the first time that I get literally any sort of merch set up for this. And it's a really big honor for me that I was kind of like one of the first people that you worked on with it, and showing like me as like the first TikTok videos that you put out on it on setting up my stickers.
Yeah, they're great, and we're just gonna put some more stuff out actually coming out today. So lots of stuff coming.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. My one of my artists that work on all my emotes, he's getting higher quality ones to make them, a little bit better stickers when they do come out. So excited to get, just higher quality in general set up for it.
Nice. Now, I haven't opened them up. Is there any backstory on the emotes that you have in store?
Yeah, a little bit. So the emotes, I reached out to him and basically said that, like my theme is a lich, and I already have pictures of the lich itself. I've got chibi ones, I've got really well done, like full on background art ones. And what I don't have is like what I would represent like my followers with, like servant souls, undead skull type things. So I sent it to him, and I do it every time on Fiverr, saying, hey, like put your own creativity into it. Whatever you come up with, I'm going to be happy with. And let's just see what you can come up with unlimited freedom of this kind of theme. And he developed these really cool, like melted skull soul like things, and then just put words on them like ha 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 or hi or wow or that kind of thing, and he nailed it. So I've been really happy with those so far.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. These are really fun. This is going to be good.
I know, right? And that's why I think they'd be great stickers. And he's working on 5 more, because the ones that's been used the most are like hi and ha 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 and the no. So we wanted more words because there's a couple of them that doesn't have words. And those ones have been used the most. So I'm really excited just to get those like as chat emotes on like Twitch, but all of them are available in the Discord. So, but yeah, that's a little bit of the story on that. Just something to kind of represent the followers. And then My pixel artist has like animated like basically those skulls like dancing around and junk too. So
yeah. Who did the art on your channel? The background that we're watching right now.
So that's the first podcast. That is Grace Likes to Draw. She's on Fiverr and she does absolute wonderful pixel art. She's done a few pieces for me. My raid is the Lich sitting on a throne and then like resurrecting the skulls and they dance around like in a techno kind of fashion. And then my Be Right Back screen is a chibi version of the Lich looking out over a dark forest with a moon in the sky and stuff, kind of like contemplating what's going on, like taking a breath of fresh air type deal.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the art. It's great.
Yeah. I'm very picky on who I like select as my artists because they've got to they got to understand that creepy kind of vibe.
Yeah, as well you should be. Like the channel art's one of those things that, and you know, the reason for the sticker shop as well is because, you know, everybody well, on the streamer side you get to create, you know, your own establishment. You know, this is your house. These are your decorations. This is what you have ready for the viewers. And when it comes to emotes, you know, that they're just a piece of that the viewers can use. And so if it fits and if it's a good emote, then lots of times, and I've seen this, you know, countless time where people would sub to a channel just for the emotes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so yeah. if it's a you know an animal they like, or some kind of you know, like the words on your skulls, they'll get to use those on other channels and kind of share you around. So, yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah. So really excited on that. You know, the whole theme is to not judge a book by its cover. You know, I've got all this creepy horror, you know, scary kind of vibes, but like if you go into the stream, it's all positivity and like motivation and high optimism, you know.
Sure.
So I guess that's kind of like the weird niche that I hit.
That's good, and we need more of them. I mean, we all know 2020 was a bugaboo, and 2021 is like we need to lean into that positivity so that so we don't get railroaded by anything that life throws at us.
Exactly. So out of curiosity here, like on the logistical side, how has been setting up like the sticker business go? Like, if you want to disclose that, of course, like setting it up.
Yeah. And it's been an adventure. Like, you know, I first started thinking of the idea of jumping into it whenever I landed on Sticker TikTok and just saw a ton of artists. You know, they would get out and get a Cricut machine, which is the cutting machine that would die cut out a sticker, and then they go to design and they just come out with these marvelous designs. And I'm already a fan of stickers just to begin with, but I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have stickers all around my house, but still I'm a fan from afar. And then I got to thinking, because over the summer, I'm like, I'm always trying to think of different ways in order to engage streamers on different levels, rather than just sitting behind the keyboard and say, hey, do this, don't do that, so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, what kind of, you know, tangible benefit can I offer? And you know, stickers, they seemed, keyword seemed, easy enough to get into, but once I started diving in, I'm like, oh no, I went through so much material, and there are so many nuances. I mean, I like to cook. I can follow directions. I used to be you know, a mid to high level manager at work, so I'm like, I'm competent, right? I know how to do things. And little did I know that I didn't know as much as I thought I did. But it's been a journey, and I'm excited that I'm finally on this side of things, where it's like, all right, cool. Now it's time to get people in and start, you know, making these into actual designs. But no, as far as the behind the scenes stuff, I'm using Shopify in order to list you know, different sticker sets in the shop, and that's the other thing I'm kind of excited for, is that, you know, sure, the streamer, I'll list them and I'll give the streamer a link to their particular listing. However, I'm also going to try to shop that or market that around, so that maybe we can bring in other people that may be interested in a good sticker. Like I said, the same way that people would subscribe to a channel just for the emotes, I'm wondering if people may be interested in stickers for the fact that they're good designs. So that's what I'm excited for as well. But in general, I'm probably about 80% confident in what I have in store. The next big step is getting more people in and kind of watching this progress into an actual little running shop.
Yeah,
where I have my time to make the stickers, work on designs, and so on and so forth. But it's been interesting, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
yeah, and I get that, and what you're thinking on that with how people use the emotes, just they go to a Discord just to get those emotes. I have, and I know friends of mine who have bought the like super popular emotes, like the Kappa emote and stuff like that, and got it as a sticker. So I also am kind of wondering on that, like if more streamers had like, their emotes ready in like a sticker package like you're setting up, if people would, buy that more often, especially at like, a reasonable price and stuff.
Sure.
Because I've seen people, they buy stickers for like everything,
Yeah, and I mean it's they're you can do a lot more at a much more affordable price. Like for instance, for a t-shirt, you've got to pay, if you go on Redbubble or somewhere else, you're paying $20-25 for a t-shirt, and you get one design in one color, for ideally one person. I'm like, we can do better than that. And with stickers, much lower barrier to entry, and the creativity that we can put together is off the charts.
Yeah, lots more variety.
Yeah, and I'm so again, next step is to figure out, all right, so we're working with streamers, what else can we turn into a sticker? And this is where I'll lean on on you guys to help collectively as a group figure out, okay, well, let's see. For instance, the only thing I came up with is taking, if you had a quote bot on your channel, usually you'd get some either yourself or chat would nominate out of context quotes and put them in their bot and then use them against you later on in the stream.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm thinking that those could be bundled up together, and these quotes can come either from you, the streamer, or come from chat themselves, so they get to be a part of the process. And if they get if you make a set out of those, then it's something that chat has now been a part of creating. So again, more and more ways to integrate the process with the community.
Yeah, and see, that's going to be one of the next steps that I do as a streamer, because now that my community is starting to grow, like I'm thinking about like what can I provide them as like tools and stuff. Like I have no bots right now, like I don't know really, I don't even really know what to get into yet on that, you know what I mean? Because I really don't know what would fit my theme,
Sure. And whatever you think of right now could change, in a short while. And that's the other benefit of streaming, is that, you could have an idea one day, and you are completely within your, right to change it tomorrow, and it's okay.
Exactly.
If people follow you for you, they're going to watch you as you evolve into something new.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I've been watching you in particular, because seeing how you work with your community to kind of build them up, and while giving the guide videos that you see quite often, but it's the videos that's like in between where you're really motivating them, and like for example, the ones where you're asking them, what are you going to do today? Like, what are you streaming about? What are you planning today? Those have been the most interesting ones for me, because like I've said to myself, yeah, it's a good mentality to have. You wake up, if you're wanting to stream that day, what are you planning on talking about?
Yeah, for sure. Planning is, if I were to leave any streamer with one thing to work on, is planning your stuff out, because we talked about it before the show, is just that when it comes to priorities, and if you have a job, a family, other responsibilities, like things can go sideways really fast. And if you have any kind of goal of growing a channel, then some time needs to be set aside in order to make sure that your stream and everything around it is taken care of. So planning is very, very essential.
Yeah, and I just like that mentality of like building everybody up like that. I respect that a lot from you. It's one of the things that I'm trying to do too, like building people up and telling them, like whatever you've got your mind set on, like work on it and go forward with it. Even if like you're not happy with how it's going right now, just put it out there, get past that kind of hurdle of it's not quite right, and to show people new stuff. So, I updated my about me after the review of my channel. Now it says variety in there.
Nice.
Because my focus is retro games. I just haven't gotten them set up, but I'm wanting to do a lot more than just a niche. I really don't want any niche.
Sure.
Because I really want to push everybody to like try something new. Like if you've never tried Dungeons and Dragons, go out, find a group, try it. You might find an experience in your life that you never knew that you would enjoy if you didn't take that step. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's and again, the reason for doing this, and at this point I'm trying to remember what we talked about on show and before show, the positivity that people can bring. And so let me step back just a couple of steps, because another reason why I love live streaming is because it's the new way that people engage. They just haven't accepted it yet. So much focus is put on on real life versus your online friends, as if somehow they're different. But I remember very clearly, I did a show, oh my God, 3 years at this point, and the topic came up. It's like, okay, hold on, really think about it. What is the difference between somebody online versus somebody in real life? If for the most part, you talk to them on your phone, what is really the difference? And I got an overwhelming response from those that watch in the community, is that like, oh no, if I talk to you and we're hanging, we're cool, you're my friend. And that's us pushing back on the whole idea that parents like to bring up of these somehow being different. And so the more that people who might need a friend or may feel alone out there, if they can see what actually more of what actually exists out here, then maybe they might be encouraged to just reach out just a little bit and to see what this entire world is all about, and how it can actually be fun to be a part of. So why there's zero reason people should be truly alone whenever there's tools like Twitch and Discord out there. And that's just one of my things, and the biggest reasons why I do what I do. This is amazing.
Yeah, I totally like. I'm on that same kind of level with you with that. When I told my Fiverr guys this, if I work with you, I'm dedicated to what you're doing. Like if I get art from you one time, I want it to stay consistent. So I'm going to get art from you again, especially if you're like, unless you slight me or, have some sort of issue, but if you're chill and we're working together like that, I want to continue to, kind of network with that person and stick with them. And I want to do that. And I know it's going to be hard if I get a lot of people, into all of this, but I want everybody to understand that like I'm a very empathic person. Like, I have high levels of empathy, and, I want everybody to kind of know that I'm there, like with them. Like I try to reply to every comment, reply to like every person, like hold a conversation in some way, shape, or form. Because just like you said there, like for me, it's not, you know, an online friend versus an offline friend. You know, it's not a real life versus, you know, internet friend. Like it's you're a friend. Like I want to know you better.
Absolutely. And the other benefit is, you know, the benefit of a text message or a DM, or you at me somewhere on social media is that, you know, at some point I'm going to see that. And, you know, besides having somebody there, it's just the idea that, okay, even if we don't talk for any amount of, you know, for whatever amount of time, that doesn't mean that I like you less, you know?
Yeah.
I know right now I have a ton of friends that I haven't talked to. I mean, 6 months, a year, 2 years, but I know that I can easily reach out to them, and it's like we never stop talking.
Exactly.
That's the other benefit. It's like, you know, why be pissed off that, you know, oh, maybe somebody has a life and they have other responsibilities. Whenever, you know, if you met them online, you know that they're always there. And so, you know, it's good, and it makes people feel good to reach out every once in a while. But second best is if they do, you know, just kind of pick up where you left off and keep running. That's another benefit.
Yeah, and I think this is a change that's happened recently. Not super recently, but like in the last 5-8 years or something. Because I grew up in the COD lobby, so you would meet somebody, be friends with them for like that match, and then be over with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we threw online friends away constantly back in those days, especially like Modern Warfare 2 days, where like one thing changes the whole entire aspect. And I think that's really changed as social media has blown up in that amount of time. You know, back then it was MySpace, now it's Facebook, and literally everyone's on Facebook. Like your grandma's on Facebook. You know, she has a knitting circle of like 8 other grandmas that are just talking. Like, and now that we're at that kind of stage as like a society, your online people that you meet is getting to be more and more close knit. And honestly, and I kind of hate to say this a little bit, your online friends are slowly becoming more your friends than your real life ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, and especially because of, you know, COVID and everything. Yeah, we've had,
especially COVID. Yeah.
I knew that live streaming was going to be something special, and it was unfortunate that we've had to have a worldwide pandemic in order for the spotlight to be put on live streaming. But that now, you know, here's what's next is we're not going to go back to normal anytime soon. And even when we do, now the big question is, okay, wait a minute, do I have to make this big trip to go see these people, or can we just do it online? Like, I'm glad this is happening so that it you know, there's much more people conditioned to understand that, you know, just like our topic, that online relationships are not that different from real life. Just because I don't see you doesn't mean I don't like you any less. And online tools are right there to help us along. So that's another reason why I'm excited. And it's funny that you said that that, you know, how social media has changed within the last 5 years, because guess how old Twitch is?
Yeah,
just about 5 years old.
Exactly.
And it was a major change. That's when I first started getting into it, was right before the Amazon buyout of Twitch. That was back in the day. So the news cycles thought that Google was going to end up buying Twitch, and Twitch was in the process of establishing their music muting software so that it would mute copyrighted sounds on sounds and VODs. But then Amazon picked them up, and I started watching. I'm like, wow, I got hooked immediately. And then now we're here.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that on that, because like it has been because like when I first started, I started at that perfect time on YouTube, 2009. You know, like that's where all the big YouTubers started.
Yes, sir.
But the problem was I didn't have any money. I was just, you know, high school going into college. So I had a really bad stream, bad video, bad audio, the works. I had, the Bandicam URL at the top. So
yeah, I saw that.
it never took off. When I did get to where I had a job and was able to buy equipment, I had to buy budget stuff for what, the money I had was. So still not great, but I didn't have the URL at the top anymore. But at that point, I didn't understand metadata. So nobody could find me. So then, 300 videos on YouTube with less than 1,000 views, pretty much made me stop at the time. Yeah. And then I just recently started taking it seriously again here this last year. And it's going a lot better, and I'm really excited about the growth. So it's been an adventure, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that's another thing is that, you can try your best right now. And even if nothing happens, you don't just forget what this is like. And so you pick up, the next time you're like, okay, cool, I've got some time to develop this. Let's keep going. And I don't know if you saw the video, but another thing that has popped up, and again, another benefit of live streaming is one of my predictions for 2021 and 22 is going to be the need for people who understand the live streaming space.
Yes.
Because, again, we're not going back to normal anytime soon. And just like the way you are, you built in the prime of YouTube, you learned a lot then. And then the next time you picked it up, you just kept that ball rolling, and we're here today. So that, for streamers all across the board, even if you don't make it or get the numbers that you think or that you're aiming for, that doesn't mean that all of this time has been wasted. You can, there's going to be more positions opening up that will require a person that knows how to address a small audience. This is, they're calling it micro influencers, but I hate that word. It is just the whole idea that has been started since the inception of the internet, that the entire world is getting smaller, and these skills will be more and more appreciated as even local businesses get on board with doing more to engage their customers, and that's where streamers come in. So should you or anybody not like where they are, you can actually do things now to kind of learn the process until these positions start popping up. So
exactly,
it's fantastic.
And like Frog says in the chat, like, it's definitely just the beginning of it. And I think we're going to see a movement away from, like, I mean, esports is always going to be a thing, but I think we're going to see a movement away from, like, professional gaming on Twitch, and where we have more people that goes towards, community style Twitches like we have set up right now. I think it's going to spread out more after a while.
Absolutely. Right now. So, okay. Up until 2009, everything's been kind of led by the people that came from Justin TV and old school esports players that built themselves up as a personality on Twitch. That's how Twitch, that's where Twitch built their entire brand on. Now, in 2020, leading to this year, now people are the largest channels that are popping off are the ones that are telling more of a story, or even being a little more comedic than it has been classically, because the people that have grown, they just themselves had natural charisma and could hold up a person's attention. But nowadays we're seeing a lot more people using like for instance the Dream SMP, Hermitcraft, they're using stories, and since Christmas, Offline TV started that major Rust server. Mm-hmm. That is that's a playground for a ton of content creators. And then now, as of yesterday, we have the Epic SMP popping up. In my opinion, I'm interested to see where it goes, because as far as I understand, and I've got more to search on it, but I think the Epic SMP is being done in the same way that the Rust server was started. Just put a lot of content creators together and then let them go. But I think they're missing the point. And because I agree with you, I think more people are going towards the substance and the community of what live streaming has to offer, whereas you have the celebrity side of creators still leaning more into their own personality. So they'll have their followers, but I don't think that it's gonna that traction will stay, for the long term. And so that's what I'm watching.
And we saw this happen on YouTube already, is the thing. Because when we were first like seeing the people grow heavily on YouTube, and nothing against this person, because I was definitely a person that watched him, but like Tobuscus, it was action reactionary content that was being made, and we still have it. It's still heavily popular for that, like, heavy, almost comedic levels of energy. But people are starting to turn away from that now, as they've seen like everybody kind of got oversaturated on it, and it's starting to go to more mellow, like, I want to be a part of this person's community and type thing. So, and I think
we're gonna see it more and more.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're at with Twitch right now, is people starting to push away from that. So,
yeah, it's the reason why stream teams as a thing never took off.
Yeah,
because the only quote unquote teams that popped up were more structured like an agency looking for influencers to include in their roster, but they never actually acted like a team.
Yeah,
and that's why it never blew up.
Yeah, and I won't say I was influenced by the Dream SMP stuff, but I've always wanted to do a Minecraft server that was like semi roleplay. Like I've had this idea since I was I think in 2014, when I was like trying to grow more in the HD days, and I even bought a server and had like my 4 friends like on there and whatnot, but like we weren't able to make anything at the time. But now I've got I just hit 18 or 19 people ready to sit down and fill out like a character sheet, like Dungeons and Dragons style, with what they're going to do, their personality, what their story arc's going to be, and like go onto this Minecraft and like be on voice channels, local chat and everything. So it's a lot like it's going to be, but we've got a theme and more kind of structured story, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's I would venture to say that something like that could still work today. It's the only difference is just the way it's presented.
Exactly.
Because you can watch any stories from anywhere, and with your background, you understand. I've played a D&D game like this. I've ran these stories before. It's not a big deal, and that's the beauty of D&D itself. And again, that could be just tweaked ever so slightly to fit a more of a mainstream audience that may have their own biases against something that looks like D&D, but in reality, what they're watching is structured kind of the same. So
yeah.
So for the content creators that know how to do that, they're still, again, this is just the beginning.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's actually a great segue. Let's talk a little bit about what you do outside of Twitch and the TikTok stuff. Like, what are you into hobby wise?
Actually, up until November of last year, I was I was a single dad, worked a regular corporate-esque job in transportation, and I did all the Twitch stuff as a side gig. And I mean, because of COVID, I didn't really venture much into hobbies outside of the house. I almost picked up hiking, but that never went anywhere. And then after November, I quit that job, focused on oh no, I'll put it this way. I spent the first month, for once in my life, not doing really anything. And that was beautiful. So again, no, I played I played Far Cry 5. That was the first game I've completed since oh my god, Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, major story game. Yeah, I mean I've played others since then. I mean I've Binding of Isaac, but nothing like heavy story driven, full experience wise. But I was able to do that in preparation for Far Cry 6, which is coming out in April.
Yeah, I think so. I think
it was. Well, I hope they stick to it. And then now, this whole Twitch, TikTok, sticker shop, all of this is now my, besides raising kids, is my other complete focus. Like my goal is to turn this into something over the next couple of months, and then I'll go back to figuring out, hobbies and what have you. But that's really how much I'm invested into this as a medium, as a platform, just because there's so much here. And the more people I can work with to help extend that idea, that's what the fun is for me. So I enjoy watching games. I enjoy watching people just use their own creativity to entertain people, and that's why I do what I do.
And I totally understand that, because I had a job loss recently, and the one that I was working was on call. Middle of the night, you'd get called to go to work, and I would work 40 hours in a 56-hour period. Like I'd work a 16, be off for like 6-8 hours, then work another 16, then work another 8. Like it took me away from a lot of things. And that moment that you were talking about where you didn't do anything, and that was like such a good experience. One of the first things I did before I built the setup and was in between moving up here and setting this up, was we went out on the boat. And like, I'll tell you, like the 3 or 4 days that I went out on the boat consecutively, I just sat there and, with a beer, and just, completely washed away.
Yeah. Chef's kiss right there. My God, that I feel you right there.
And I even said to my dad that day that, I've never understood this feeling until today. Like I had the concept because I saw so many people do it, but when you grow up as a teenager, you don't really understand like doing nothing and how joyful doing nothing can be. So I totally understand that. And then just mountains and lake like makes a whole difference. So.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, because I'm in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, so like we've got mountains all over the place. It's beautiful all seasons.
Oh my God, I'm in Dallas and it's flat. I almost, if maybe in another life, or maybe the end of this year, I have a goal of moving to Denver.
Interesting choice.
In my previous life, I was a truck driver, and a lot of our routes took us to the Denver area, and so I would only experience that from the cab of a truck, and from all those experiences, I'm like, you know what? Hold on. Plus, they're progressive. They're real, outdoors kind of proactive kind of communities up there, and I'm like, yeah, I can really get into that, along with at least changing seasons rather than going from hot to not quite as hot. It's having mountains, I'm jealous of you.
Colorado in general is a beautiful place. Tangential to that, when I was about 18, I took off to Buffalo, Wyoming. And I mean, we drove literally 28 hours straight, not stopping to sleep or anything like that, just eat food and gas. And I hiked up the Bullhorn Mountain to Crazy Woman Gorge. And you talk about flat and mountain. So the Bullhorn Mountain is the only mountain, like probably in Wyoming in general,
Yeah.
But you can literally see from Buffalo, Wyoming to the other city, and that city is something like 200 miles, 300 miles, something like that. You don't even get messed up with the horizon because you're on a mountain.
Yeah.
And it is so flat and like no trees, nothing blocking the way. It is just flat plains. And then you have at your back this mountain. So if you turn around, you can look up this beautiful, gigantic mountain. And if you turn around, you look out and you can see the city 300 miles away.
Oh, wow.
It's such a different thing. So because I'm used to the Smoky Mountains of if you're on a mountain and you turn around, you see another mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. Not me. I grew up, I've grown up in the South. In between Texas and Georgia and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That was my the majority of my experience up until I became a truck driver at 22, and then I got Colorado.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the truck drivers are the backbone of America.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I got into the railroad business, and we made fun of that by saying that no, they're the veins, we're the backbone.
How dare? Well, hold on.
It makes sense.
That's fine. It does make sense.
Because without the railroad, you don't have truckers.
Very true.
So
very, very true.
So that was always funny. My dad was a truck driver. Literally provided, my family's whole life off of it. Like a lot of respect to truck drivers. Period.
Sure. Yeah.
When you said transportation, I was going to ask you afterwards, so I'm glad you brought up truck driving because I was wondering if you were railroad too, and then I was like, oh, hey.
No, I'm the other side of it, but yeah, no, I was a truck driver from for about 17 years, and then I spent the last 4 as a supervisor. Basically, I became their boss. Yeah, and then now I'm here. But yeah, I spent all that time. I've only worked at 2 different companies. That last one was about 12 years. So yeah, that was my world.
I pretty well got laid off due to COVID and like cutbacks and just condensing down onto the on the department. Like, I was there for 6 years, but 4 of it I had never marked off once, like never called in sick, never was late, like did a good job. People asked me questions about what was going on, but they just kept condensing down, and they never hired since me. So I was the youngest in the office, period. And, seniority, like eventually it gets you down to you.
Yeah, that's crazy. But cheers to you for being that kind of worker, man. That's few and far between.
Yeah. So, and they had problems with people like, marking off constantly. So, but yeah, work ethics is a big deal to me. So, I definitely appreciate those kind of things.
Absolutely.
Let's see. You watch anime or anything like that? My Discord has requested that I pretty well ask everybody that gets on the podcast if they watch anime because they're heavily in anime.
I am a fair weather anime watcher. I mean, I cover the basics. Grew up with Dragon Ball Z. Growing up, what else was there? Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
Now, as of late, and it's real funny you bring that up because I'm Attack on Titan is in its final season, and it's stuff's finally happening. I'm glad. Me and the kids were just scrubbing through all the selections that can be found on your local Crunchyroll app.
Yeah,
and it's just browsing through them. It's a very interesting roller coaster that you can just find yourself on. But nowadays I'm catching up on Demon Slayer. That's the new thing.
Yep.
What else? And then Cats and Bananas. That's it.
Cats and Bananas.
those are my 3 recently watched animes as of yesterday.
So the one that I push off on literally everybody because it's very an unsung gem is Roka. like Braves of the Seven Flowers or something. It's Rokka, and it only got one season, but it's beautifully drawn and just has one of the best stories out there. And like even my chat's already saying Rokka's amazing.
See, and unfortunately, that's the common trope for anime. They make an amazing one season,
Yeah,
and then the last scene of the last episode is somebody riding off into sunset and so many unanswered questions. Until you quickly Google to see, hey, when is season 2 coming out? Just to get hit by an article that says, well, this season is in discussion to be picked up and shown in 2 years.
and then they delay.
Exactly. Hold on. So speaking of which, Assassination Classroom.
Yes, such a good one.
Through that one.
Very good one.
Overly powered hero that's overly cautious. I don't know if you know that one.
I don't know that one, no.
It's interesting. Like, I mean, it's right in the title. There's an overpowered character that is overly cautious. So there, he's sent on missions, but he's afraid of just, he overplans. He's real neurotic, and watching everybody just say, hey, you can beat him up with no problem. Why don't you go do it? And he's, in his brain thinking up of ways to approach. It's real interesting. But yeah, no, I can list a dozen of those kinds of animes that I've watched one season, nothing else. I'm like, why do this?
Yeah, no.
Why do this? That's probably the biggest reason I don't watch more, because I don't want to fall in love just to get my heart broken again. Fool me once, and it's like, oh, dang it. But yeah, there's a lot of those out there. Dr. Stone finally getting a season 2. That one's fun. What else? Claymore.
Yeah, Claymore. My roommate really wanted me to watch Claymore. I got like maybe 5 episodes in, but I just couldn't get into it.
I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was more enamored with it. The second time, I'm like, I was questioning myself. I'm like, why did I like this as much as I did? It was fine, but it didn't hit me like the first watch through.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna add, begrudgingly, but I'll do it. I'll add Rokka to the list.
Yeah, definitely add Rokka to the list. It's just one season, like maybe 10 episodes, maybe at most. But it is absolutely like kind of a love letter to the genre in a way.
Right on. Cool.
And then the only other one that I mentioned is a movie. But the reason why I mention it is because it is completely hand-drawn. They did like 230,000 hand-drawn images. And then they went in and digitally fixed it. And it's like 2009. But the animation is better than anything you'll ever have seen, even like in today's time. It's called Redline. And if you really like racing or just engines, like they take these hyperimposed shots of like the camera going through an engine and like hitting injectors and stuff like that, and the pistons running through, and the way that they just handle speed and stuff is so different. So if you like racing or you like engines or something, look up Redline.
What was that other it was another anime that had to deal with racing and drifting. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
the gas song goes with it.
I can't remember.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Like the really popular one.
Yeah, of course.
Racing anime. Let's see if I can grab it real fast.
Because as soon as I looked up Redline, just the imagery made me think of that.
Yeah, Redline is insanely drawn. Like if it's on Amazon Video for like $9 or something, and it is something that literally everybody needs to see.
All right, man, anime, I'm there. Or Redline, I'm there.
Yeah, like it is a definite must watch. Like as far as I go, because it's just got some of the best ways to handle motion. Like if there was ever an artist that needs to like do high energy motion or something, they really need to watch that, because like how they handle how speed is moving. And Initial D is the one that I was thinking of. That's
the one. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Initial D is a good one. It's just a little older, and I like older animes, but I'm starting to get watching Redline, Roka, and just like really, really high quality animes, I'm starting to lose interest in the older stuff, unless it's something I've already seen, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because I went back recently and watched basically what was the first anime I ever watched, which was Gungrave, and where it's so old, like I couldn't get back into it. I was so disappointed, and like it's a good anime for its time. Yeah. So if I look at it at today's time, I'd call it poorly written.
Sure.
And you know, opinions change.
Of course, and some things you just relive just for nostalgia.
Exactly.
That's where I am currently with Dragon Ball Z. It's like, you know, there's pivotal moments that I'm very fond, you know, or have very fond memories of, but I go back to the episode of that season and I'm like, wow, they do just scream all episode long, don't they? And I'm like, all right, I get it, whatever. But I loved it and I still do.
So my chat mentions Dorohedoro for Netflix. That one is really good. My nephew really likes that one. And then Akame ga Kill, which I don't know, Zanfer. I definitely don't know that one. I'll look it up real fast. I do love Dorohedoro, but that's just because like I like lizard people. Dungeons and Dragons, I'm always Dragonborn, half dragon. Like I love lizard people.
Fair enough.
Akame ga Kill.
I was looking to see if that one, the Akame ga Kill, is.
Hey, I like any anime that has a pompadour.
Hey, you're not wrong. Oh, speaking of which, what was it? One Punch Man.
Yes.
Great first season. Second one was like, oh, okay. Did you watch the second season?
Yes, I've seen. I'm caught up on that.
I'm like, there's so many wasted moments. Like you see the bones of something great.
Yes,
but unfortunately.
But for me, because I went into it like on first episode knowing that it was making fun of genres, and their season 2 is making fun of that kind of genre.
Very, very much so, yeah.
I have a weird relationship with anime. So like Dragon Ball Z, a lot of people like it, and I understand liking it. Like I will never talk bad about someone else's anime. Like what you're into is what you're into, you know. And everything's anime to me. Like Pokemon's anime. Like I don't gatekeep any of the anime stuff. But for me, I really lose interest in an anime if power creep is growing really hard in it.
Yeah.
So Dragon Ball Z was like a 1 season thing for me, because as soon as you get to stuff where it's like I flick my eyelash and I blow up a planet, like I'm done.
Yeah.
And the best way to summarize it is Naruto. I watched Naruto all the way up to the pain fight. And the reason why I enjoyed it so much was because everybody had a weakness. You know, they only had so much power that they could give out. They had to train and learn how to do their powers. They weren't just like immaculate beings that was able to do whatever, and they had limitations, you know, and like Rock Lee, you know, overdoing his body and almost dying and stuff. But for me, the whole series ended at pain, because Naruto, like, you know, was finally liked by the town and like was praised and got rid of the big threat. But pain was starting to pull, you know, the moon down on top of him and stuff, which is like the last kind of, all right, we're getting too powerful with these characters. Like I'm done.
Right. Yeah. So
Dragon Ball Z, like I understand it, but you know, when it's just like, I just got to grunt just a little harder to get more power, I lose it. So I really like my favorite one was Death Note for a long time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Literally just a dude with a magic book. Like, shoot him.
A best first episode of anything that I've watched.
Easily.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me ask you this. So what would you consider the best show? Just as, you know, let it cross mediums. It could be anime or not. What would you consider the best show of all time to be?
Okay, so all mediums, not particularly anime.
Yes.
And let me tell you, when I say this, probably nobody is going to know this. I mean, there's going to be like select few people that's like, me, I knew that one.
As long as you don't say Howard the Duck, then we're good.
It's called The Booth at the End. And it was revolutionary for me because it all takes place at the booth at the end. It is literally a restaurant booth. They don't change scenes. It's just people talking. But the way that they filmed it, cut it, edited it, and how the story unfolded was just, I don't know. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about that show because like it's so good. It's called The Booth at the End. And I really need to go back and rewatch that because like it really did change my perspective on stuff.
That's a series.
Yes, a little short series.
Okay.
It's clearly a lower budget series, but it's just so well written. How they handled it. And like again, they don't ever change scenes. They stay like at this restaurant table the whole time. And that makes it sound like it would be bad, but like we were saying earlier with like Twitch streaming and stuff, how you present it makes such a difference with things.
Absolutely. I mean, and you're telling me, your side of things, and I'm reading it as a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, how would this work? Now there's the interest right there building up.
Exactly. So what would be yours in particular?
Avatar: The Last Airbender. not nearly as intentionally creative. However, now the reason to me it's the best series ever is just how they handled progression in relationships and in the story itself. Of course, not without its flaws, but still, it handled things like very adult themes when it came to parents and war and the people that they ran into, and then various disabilities and capabilities, and it never, as a rule, never crossed a line as far as trying to disparage one over the other. They made, you could see the care that they took in that show to present everything very thoughtfully, and that's why that's just the entire show. I was in love with it.
And yeah, I absolutely loved that show as well. And they handled power creep very well. Like even towards like the end, like nobody really got to like extreme levels of power,
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agree with all the points that you made on it. Like, and then just character development in general. Like every single character, even like side characters, had character development and changed over the time based on events that happened in the world. So
yeah, and it's fun to just go back and just watch, just like you said, the progression, the power creep, and how they all complemented each other. From the bloodbending episode and how creepy it was, versus the uprising of earthbenders to metalbenders.
Yeah,
that was one of the bigger steps, but still, just how they use that as a plot device in order to engage an entire nation. It's just amazing.
In a similar fashion, and it's what I'm currently watching. And it's heavily influential on how my story arc on my Minecraft SMP is working. But I'm currently watching Vikings on Amazon. It's got like 6 seasons right now, and they stay fairly historically accurate on there, and bring up actual like real life, kings, queens, and Viking earls and stuff. And they just really show the, Norse religion and how, Christianity overtook Scandinavia over time, and how their interactions went between, Catholic priests and, Anglo-Saxon kings versus like the Norse gods and stuff. And it's such and I know it's weird to compare that to Avatar, but their character development is a lot like that, where like every character you have has developed in a certain way, and they handle wars in such a way to make it, you know, they put a lot of history information into it. It's more of, I won't call it a documentary because it's made as a, you know, entertaining piece, and then they exaggerate the religion sides of things and stuff, and like going more into Norse mythology and everything. So anybody interested in Viking stuff, like Vikings on Amazon is top.
Nice.
So, but off of shows and stuff like that, I don't know. You have anything you want to plug or mention here to everybody?
As far as my stuff goes,
yeah.
I guess my biggest plug would just be for the TikTok. I'm enjoying that platform, you know, as a medium itself, because I'm forced to get to the point of, you know, of whatever certain video in under a minute. So if I have something to say, I've got a minute to say it. Boom, there it is. And so right now, most of the stuff that I have out is they're just snippets of the overall, you know, platform. And so if somebody wants to either follow along to watch things develop, or if they themselves want, are streamers or content creators that want to know how to branch out, that's probably the best place to consume the best of what I have to offer.
That's awesome. And then just as a reminder of what Brimthen Babbles is, it's this podcast that I do, bringing people on, and you, the viewer, can also join in on it. Go to my Discord and put a request to be in Brimthen Babbles. Just fill out the little form thing I have. And then we'll schedule a time where me and you can sit here on Discord and chat, and we'll talk about whatever you want, games, hobbies, you know, art, music, whatever you want to do. Anybody's welcome to do it with me. But I'm very glad for you to be here, CastOrDie. Really, really proud to have you in here on the third podcast here.
Dude, I appreciate it. Look, this is legit my first interview ever. And again, you know, I'll just echo what you just told chat, that, you know, I didn't know what I was going to get myself into, but this, if anybody's been watching for any amount of time today, you see that there's, you know, there's different ways you can take this, and it's really fun to be on this side of things. So I appreciate you having me on, man.
It's definitely cool. And, you know, like the reason I pretty well started it is because, like, I saw, like, you know, the Joe Rogan podcast and like the other interview podcasts that are out there. And I was always sitting there thinking, I have no idea what that experience would be like, sitting, talking to like a host, and like, or being the host and talking with the guests, like what that would even, like, you know, mentally feel like. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. I've enjoyed these 3 podcasts so far immensely. So,
right on. Well, good luck on the rest of you.
Yep. And we had 8 viewers through this whole thing, so that really helps my average out. So thanks to everybody for being here. Go check him out on TikTok, and peace. Have a good one.
Bye.